Hang on, rotate back. All right, hang on. I gotta see if I can figure out this orientation thing here.
It's your first time going live or what?
No, orientation is locked. Rotate device back. Dirty kitchen. Whatever, we'll do it this way. Ugh.
Hello, YouTube.
Good evening, everybody. We didn't get the orientation right for whatever reason. I don't know why we're this way. I tried turning it, wouldn't let me. Whatever, big deal. Gringo Pines, how you doing? So the wife and Big Rich here, they decided to join me for a few minutes. And once Big Rich goes to bed, I think the wife's gonna head out with the dog too. She's got some stuff to do to get ready for the week, and then we'll go and get everything done. Kenny, you finally made it, brother. Good to see you on the live stream. No, nobody woke the pup up. He just was sleeping by the stove, and wherever Mom is, that's where he wants to be. Chuck
He's such a
Basso,
mama's
good
boy.
evening. Yadkin Valley, good evening to you. Good evening, John. Britt, how you doing down there in North Carolina, buddy?
We've been looking for some land in Maine for you.
Yeah, we'll move you north instead of us going south. We need to keep that full practice authority for the wife so I can continue to be a trophy husband.
I know.
Ted and Sherry, good to see you guys. So this week's been a crazy week between traveling back and getting back home. And then when I got home, it was 22 below zero. So it's definitely a little bit cold up here, and it's been cold. Down East Trees and Firewood. How you doing, Jason Williams? Good to see you, buddy. TJ Stonehouse, how we doing? Power of a little bit every day. That seems to be what we've been doing. By the time we get everything fired up, it's definitely halfway through the day. It's salamander heater and magnetic heater season for the hydraulics. It's definitely a cold, cold winter up here, so... See, he says he wants to settle for Maryland. It's too cold up here for him. He can't handle the snow.
Oh, come on. You're tough.
Tom from Tom's Firewood, how you doing, buddy? You get all your tax information ready so you can go pay all that money back. Good evening, Living the Dream. Good to see you. PA Trapper, how's it going? So, Big Rich, what'd you do today?
I helped my dad with some firewood.
So, why'd you help with firewood, though? What did you want? Do you want some money?
I wanted this map called Yukon Valley.
Take the candy out of your mouth and talk, if you're gonna talk. So, Rich wanted a video game, and I told him no video games without work. So he came out and he earned his money for his video game. He came out and stacked wood with Kevin and I in the roadside racks, and we got everything all figured out. Right now, Jesse Dean, it's not too bad. I think we have, what, 16 or 17 degrees?
Probably.
It's supposed to get down in the single digits tonight, but definitely not gonna be as cold as it has been. But they said in the next 2 or 3 days, we're gonna go back to below zero at night and highs in the single digits, so.
And by the way, go check that video out that I was in. I don't know the name of it, so.
Yeah, well, that's not posting until tomorrow, but when it posts, we'll make sure Big Rich is in the thumbnail so that you guys all know he was out there working. We're gonna try to get him out there more often. He needs to do some more work in the wood yard.
I was working today too, but not in the wood yard.
Right? Yeah, green, down east trees and firewood. Green firewood is what we do. And it seems to be working pretty good. Every person that stopped and bought wood out of the roadside racks today while we were trying to get them filled thanked us about 100 times for our green firewood. So it's pretty good. We don't put any green oak out there, but the stuff we have has been drying for a few months. So it's not terribly green, but it's not necessarily seasoned either. It could definitely be better.
Nothing's better than our wicked good wood.
Yeah, self-censorship on the racks joke. We're going to have the biggest rack on YouTube. You wait until spring. So TJ Stonehouse, you're going to need to come back. You can take the censorship off on that because we're shooting for 5 full cords in our roadside rack, and we're going to make it a drive-through. So Gonna be kind of like McDonald's, but with firewood.
I see.
What do you think about that?
Can I get a Diet Coke from your firewood rack?
Negative.
Oh,
You can get fire starters though.
54 degrees in North Carolina. That's
Whoa.
just nuts. Definitely,
That sounds
definitely
lovely.
not that warm up here. Kevin was shivering. I was okay. Kevin doesn't have as much meat on his bones, but we're gonna post a video tomorrow morning, and we need help from all of you guys because we're getting everything set up right now to get ready for our cord challenge. So I don't know if you saw Hardworking Man and I, we did a cord in 9 minutes and 30 some seconds. And then we issued a challenge out, and K&L Firewood, Mike and Jenin from 765 guys, they beat us. They beat us by about a minute, 8 minutes and 39 seconds or something like that. But Kevin and I, we don't like to lose, so we got some tricks up our sleeve. We're gonna give it a try again and see what happens. Michael, the oak that was by the sawmill, we put into the roadside racks because Kevin ran out of wood within just a day of me leaving. We split him a cord ahead and had the racks completely full, and they wiped it right out with the cold snap we had coming. So I told them, with the new splitter that we have coming, we're gonna definitely need to split more wood anyway. So I told him just use it. It still didn't hold him over until I got back. He was out of wood again, and the racks were empty. We've been spending a good portion of each day just filling the racks. We went through 6 full cord in the racks since I left, not last Thursday, but the Thursday before. So in a little over a week, we've gone through 6 full cords. Kenny, that's always a good day if you can go cut a cord of wood and no breakdowns. That's, you gotta like that. Did we ever consider starting a fence company? Not yet. I've got the sawmill. I mean, we could make all kinds of lumber. I like sawmilling just as well, if not better, than firewood, so definitely could be an option, but just only so many hours in the day. Yeah, someone made a cord faster than us, and I was surprised myself. Well, you coming in here, Rich? Hey, Sunken Grave. Yeah, we're loving the new splitter. That new splitter is really, really nice. It's definitely doing what we wanted it to do. We run it at about half throttle and put a cord on the truck in 15 minutes the other day. So
I was preventing a dog fight.
can't ask for any better than that for sure. Hey, Kenny says hello, Richard. He's from Nova Scotia. He watches you and pays attention to you when you're on here. Kenny's a good guy.
Nice to meet you, Kenny.
A firewood fence would be pretty cool, Len. We might have to subcontract you up here to make a decorative design in it. We can house you on the new 40-acre property when we start our compound there.
You're starting a compound?
Wow, it's gonna look like a compound with a couple of fifth wheels down there where we're building the house.
It's true. They say many hands make for light work, so maybe we should have like a house building, Amish style. Get all your firewood buddies up here.
You know
Well,
what?
we could do that. I don't see why not.
Make it.
Tom says he's guessing that we do it in 7 minutes 45 seconds for a full cord, Richard. I think Kevin had a guess, and it was just a hair quicker than 7:45, Tom. And I always shoot for the fence. I was quite a bit quicker than 7:45. We'll see what we come up with.
Know what I think we could do? Definitely not 7:45.
Derek McKenney coming to us from Parkman, Maine. Well, that's almost next door compared to some of these other guys. Glad to see you. Glad to have you stop by. They want to know if you're any good with a hammer. Are you a good carpenter? Yeah. He
I've
said.
only broke my finger once almost with a hammer.
Yeah.
In Canada, I smashed my finger with one and the nail got right here.
So for those of you guys that are on here, Down East Trees and Firewood family, they've got a split force self-propelled splitter with a conveyor that they're trying to sell. So if anybody's in the market for one of those split force, it's only a year old. It's in North Carolina, and he's willing to put a good deal on that if somebody's interested. So if you're interested, look them up, Down East Trees and Firewood. We have a firewood fence my wife came up with for the chickens. 32 half cord runs. Well, that's pretty cool. So you got 16 cord set up, and you do cordon the chickens off in each one of the runs and use them independently, or is it like a maze for the chickens?
We had chickens, but they died because of stupid eagles and coyotes.
Yeah. RJ Sydney, do we plan on doing any
cars.
videos in the woods? I'm hoping to get into the woods in the next week or so. I thought we were going to have some snow coming, so I wasn't planning on having the time this week, but I may get over for a day or so and see what we can get done and go from there. Hey Jeremiah, Outdoors in the 608, good to see you stop by. Yeah, 15 minutes is pretty fast cord. I'm not turning my nose up at 15 minutes, especially running at half throttle. So it's definitely a pretty good pickup in pace for us for sure.
I was thinking today at the wedding show that there was no firewood companies at the wedding show. I mean, you could have been like that, been there like the whole like little wood cookies and decorations and things, like, because that's a thing, like the whole rustic wedding. There was no,
Could've made a wooden ring.
there was no firewood people there.
Well, we could sell the experience of a fire. So we could sell the really pretty decorative fire and firewood and have everything all set up. But the cookies and stuff, that's pretty quick on the sawmill.
I know.
Well, if you make a wooden fire pit, that would probably burn, but the metal cylinder would work.
Oh, the metal cylinder on the inside, and then the wood being on the outside, so that it looks like it's made out of wood.
Oh yeah, it's a possibility. So Richard's always scheming too. He likes to think of ideas. So he thinks we need to build fire pits. I say we let somebody else build the fire pits and we sell the firewood. So Richard's volunteering to build fire pits. I don't know if you need torches and plasma cutters just yet. Maybe a couple more years.
Come on, Brandon already taught me how.
Yeah.
He taught me how to char wood.
Oh, I see. Outside with Shibe. How you doing? Shibe says hi, Rich.
Hi.
So this week coming up, we've got, I think, 5 full cord on order right now. We've got to get the roadside rack stocked back up. I've got to get the yard cleaned out. My normal log hauler has already called and said that he has 5 or 6 loads on the ground. And I've got wood that we have to haul from Johnny's logging site up the road. And we'll go do a video up there later on and get that taken care of. So we've got probably 60 cord worth of wood that needs to find a home in the yard. So we've got to clean that up and make sure that we get that wood here. Gramps already been itching. He stopped by, checked out the new splitter, and said it looked pretty good. So if Gramps says it's pretty good, then I guess that's about as good as you're gonna get, because Gramp doesn't get impressed by much, but he watched it run for quite a while, and he said that looked like it was pretty good. So I'll take that as a win.
And any of you guys live in Auburn, this...
Uh-oh, Richard. Bert's Custom Cuts says he has a plan to take the top spot in the fastest cord challenge. I wonder what he's up to.
Well, anyways, I have 2 hockey games in Auburn, don't I, Mama?
We have a tournament in Auburn.
Yeah, we have a tournament in the
Valentine's
beginning of February.
Day weekend.
And if you have, like, Valentine's Day weekend, if you guys have anything not going on around in Auburn, if you do live near there, come down and watch me play.
Len, you're absolutely right. The hollow rounds I do sell for extra. Make Swedish torches out of them. I got people that'll stop by in the summertime during camping season. They're always looking for those hollow rounds. Maine Sawyer is down in Norridgewock. I've stopped and saw you before. I think. You got a Wood Miser mill, don't you? Pretty sure I stopped and saw you.
In Saco Bay?
Bert, I've got some plans too. I've got 3 different ways to run it because I hate to lose. So we're gonna try and see which way is the fastest, and I'll probably post all of them anyway just because. But Kevin wants to give it a run. I don't know if Kevin's got it in him or not. And then I've got another friend, Dave. He's come over and helped on the channel a bunch of times. Dave's going to give it a run with me. And then I've got a creative way that it doesn't matter who helps me. I think we'll be all set. So we're going to try all 3 ways. We'll see which one's fastest. Last year we did the cord challenge. Took us 6 hours between beers. Kenny, that's just having fun doing firewood. So I can totally understand that part of it for sure. So if it takes you 6 hours, then that's okay too.
That's what David does. He only drinks beer.
Yeah, mine is too, Bert. One way is all by myself, and that's going to be the last way I try. And I think I should get credit for even trying it by myself, but I've got a plan. So it's getting everything ready and getting everything staged is what takes the longest with these fastest cord challenges. Yeah, the Indiana boys are the kings right now for a little bit, Jeremiah. I don't think they'll hold it for long. Yeah, Mike, that spinning wedge is awesome. To go from that 4-way to the 6-way and not have to pick up those big heavy wedges and just set them down and go, it's really not bad at all. I really, really enjoy that. Also, Maine Sawyer got rid of the sawmill and went to doing laser engraving.
Cool.
Yeah, we went and looked into laser engravers at one point to use in conjunction with the sawmill, but didn't really get much further than that just yet.
You're expensive. Pricey. But worth the investment.
Somebody's picking on Jack with his 6 hours to make 4 bags of firewood. That happens every once in a while. Yes, Robert Daigle, if you want some of that tree length, shoot me a text message and let me know how much you want. He has 5 or 6 loads available, and they're cutting more every day. So whatever you need, we can certainly get you set up with your firewood and get your wood for next year, no problem. And now's the best time to buy it because there's a little snow on the ground and it's froze, so there's no dirt. So best time for sure. Russell's Firewood, hello from Aroostook County.
Hello, Russell's Firewood.
I was supposed to be Russ, but now I'm Richard.
Yeah, I wanted to name Richard Russ, and I lost that battle, so we got Richard instead. Richard's my grandfather's name, and his middle name is Boyden. That's his other grandfather's name. So
Passed
Great,
away, sadly.
great grandfather.
great grandfather. Yeah, both named after his great grandfathers. So both of his great grandfather's name, first and middle name both. Kenny says Richard's a great name anyway.
Richard is a great name.
I wanted to be named Russ Jr. Jr.
Russ Jr. Jr. You look like a Russ Jr. Jr.
Oh my gosh, tell the funny story about last night.
Oh, so okay, we go out and we try to not have phones and electronics and stuff out while we're eating. And the youngest here, he gets kind of bored quickly. So we were playing this game where you pick a letter, a topic, you pick a food and you got to follow the alphabet. So A would be apple, B would be banana, whatever, go down through. We got to G, and what did you pick, Richard?
Juice.
Juice. It sounded good, but the spelling was off just a little bit. So when we got to J, it was my turn. So I had to make sure I said juice because Richard already had a good idea. So
No, but what else? Then what did you say? We went around again.
yeah, we went around again, and I did the same thing.
It was really funny.
I don't remember, but I did the same thing. It sounded right, but it was the wrong letter, and everybody laughed at me too. So I know where Richard gets it from.
Yeah,
He's his dad's kid.
yeah, it was fun.
And my mullet
Bill,
always
the
said-
heater that I have on my hydraulic tank is a 1400 watt heater. They've got bigger ones, but I'm not sure you necessarily need a bigger one. I gotta pull you guys closer. They're coloring. I can't read this, but yeah, so I got a 1400 watt, and that seems to do okay. I left it on all night last night. It fired up today with no problem whatsoever, so that seemed to work pretty good. Yep. Double Junior, the second son. Yeah, we won't have any more second sons. One's
Yeah.
enough. That's
Yeah.
good. We've got 4 kids already. We don't need any more. Down East Trees and Firewood. Yeah, we got hoodies, t-shirts, all that stuff. So if you want something, give me a shout and send me a message, and we'll get you set up. That's no problem. I shipped shirts to Canada in 2 different locations this week. I shipped shirts to Alaska, Indiana, Missouri, Maine, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Foothills Firewood with a super chat, Richard. They just gave us a $10 super chat.
I better get $5 from it.
I don't even get $5 from it when YouTube gets their cut, but we appreciate it, Britt. Thank you very much, brother.
Can I get some of the money, Britt?
Yeah, Down East Trees and Firewood, that we definitely have them for sale. T-shirts are $20, the hoodies are $30, and you pay the shipping.
It's a black one right here.
I know I wanted to use Sharpie because it's darker.
So one of the things that we were noticing when we were getting ready for our True Cord Challenge is that our yard, even though you don't see it on the video, we split uphill all day long, and the wood doesn't like to flow. So when we do our True Cord Challenge, everything is going to be flipped the other way, and we're going to split downhill so that the wood flows down through. And we're going to really see if we can use gravity to our advantage, because this new Musclewood pumps wood out so fast that it plugs up the conveyor. Our conveyor is pretty quick, but we need to definitely get it going.
Wouldn't you want to go downhill anyway?
Downhill is better, but in the wintertime with the icy yard, it's harder to get out with the truck and trailer once it's loaded. So yes, downhill would be better. But hopefully when we get the new lot cut next door, we've got a much bigger and much flatter area to work on. So Rusty's Garage and Homestead, we will be getting to test out that vertical machine. We're going to end up down to the International Firewood Expo, and we're hoping to have that vertical machine ready and there, and we're going to definitely get working on that. Josh Leach, we need to work on that K-Train wear for sure. I got to give you and your wife a call, and we got to figure out something on that. Or if you guys have some ideas and you want to send me what you're thinking for an idea through a text message or whatever, we can certainly do something that way too. But we gotta get some K-Train gear, because I told Kevin and he thought that was pretty special.
What's that mean?
Well, they're calling Kevin the K-Train.
Oh,
so we need to get the
nice.
K-Train shirts made up, because Kevin's got his own fan club.
Yeah.
Kevin's got a bigger fan club than any of us do, I think, and he deserves it because he works hard.
Except for me.
Except for you. What have you been in? 2 videos? Or 3?
I know, but he's
8.
got the flow.
8?
Yeah, remember 4 videos before Barry and Lori left, and then 4 videos this year.
Oh, yeah. The video about the vertical you did, it did not have an axle under it. Is that going to be an option? Well, you're going to have to wait to see how we move this thing. There's going to be a few different options to move it, and depending on how it works, I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm not sure exactly, but axles and all that stuff are definitely going to be an option. So they will be movable.
Mobile.
You should make it like that thing that Heath had next door. That
Robert
thing that you
Daigle
can
just
ride.
gave a $20 super chat too, Richard. Yeah! How about that? Hey.
What do you say?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Robert. We appreciate that very much. Kevin got my respect when I saw him taking a whiz on your wood stack. Yeah, he's always down in the back corner taking a whiz on the wood stack. I didn't realize that I got him. Robert Daigle said that one's for you, Richard.
Ooh, sweet.
So there you go. What do you say?
Thank you, Robert. I just remembered your name because Dad just told me.
So yeah, Richard appreciates that, Robert. Thank you very much. And then Kevin and peeing on the wood stack, I didn't realize I got in the video. Sometimes when I'm editing, I don't pay the closest attention. I pay much closer attention now because of things like that and some other things that I've found in the videos while we're going through and editing. So we try to pay attention as best as
You
possible.
should do a funny, like, the bloopers of Willie's Firewood.
Yeah, I gotta get external hard drives. So I've been keeping my videos on YouTube, but when my phone and stuff gets full, I get rid of the video content I have. And I need to get an external hard drive so I can keep everything, so I can go through and just pull videos every now and then, different days and things to get it taken care of.
Well, your brother-in-law works in IT. I bet you could ask him for some help.
Yeah, probably so.
It's all in who you know.
Brett says you better not spend that money on a haircut. Brett, he's not going to mess with the flow.
Oh,
we
no.
got a tourney coming up. He's going
Yeah.
to touch that flow up pretty soon.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna get the FT, the freight train.
The freight train. I think BR, Big Rich.
No, the freight
A
train.
range day is better than a work day, Yadkin. So I can appreciate that for sure. It's it's one of those things you can't work every day, but I seem to
You try
find
to.
a way. I try to. I like working. I enjoy working. I don't mind it at all. So
When you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work.
no, this is very true. Very, very true.
That's how I feel.
So, yeah, we moved my wife down to her event today. Kevin and I came back. We split 2 cord, put it in the racks. Very, very close to getting almost everything full, and a guy came and took about a half a cord, so we ended up having to go back and refill a bunch more. We got a bunch of empty $5 bins right now because we're trying to get one whole rack of $5 bins filled up with kindling. The 6-way definitely makes a lot more kindling for sure, but it's
Did you tell him that your truck wouldn't start this morning?
oh yeah, I had to spend $264 this morning. You'll see that in tomorrow's video.
Oh,
I had
sorry.
to,
I didn't mean
had to go
spoilers.
buy a battery. Went out, and because of the cold, the truck just decided that it didn't want to start, so we had to go get a battery. Russ, your fire starters are working great. I'm still filming a video testing several in the wood stove. Yeah, Mike, the fire starters work good. I'm not one of these people that's going to claim them to be the best because I know they're not. But definitely work well for doing what they need to.
I think they're pretty great.
I would give them a 10-star review if there was a 10-star.
Larry and Robin, hey, how's it going? Good to see you guys stopping by. Appreciate you stopping by on a Sunday evening. And for those of you that may stop by now and didn't hear what we're doing, we're going to be doing lives Wednesdays and Sundays. So Wednesdays are going to be more machine oriented for the all wood stuff. And then Sundays are going to be kind of what happened through the week and what we got going on.
Oh boy, we just almost lost power.
Connor McCrae says it's nearly 1:30 a.m. here in Ireland. Love watching your videos. Did you ever get your dump trailer brakes sorted out yet? I think I've got them sorted out, but now I've got some bad wheel bearings. So I've got to get the wheel bearings greased. We're going to bring it up to Dave's garage and put it in his heated shop because it's a little too cold to work on it outside here. And we'll get those sorted out in the next week or so because we're going to get some bigger orders coming pretty soon, and the dump trailer is going to be a necessity for sure.
We'd love to go to Ireland.
Yeah, Ireland would be a good trip, Connor. If we ever make it over that way, we'll have to look you up.
It's on my bucket list.
No, my bucket list is going to Alaska and fishing in the Bering Sea.
Mount Tammany, I did catch part of your video. I didn't watch the whole thing. I got to go back and finish it. I've been trying to keep up with everybody's videos, but between traveling and trying to get everything done and answering emails and calls and talking to people about splitters and all this stuff, I've been busier now than I've been in a long time. So I'm behind on my watching for sure. Yes, I am still looking for a dump insert for the Tundra Mike. We will have one in there sometime in the spring, I'm sure. If not before then, it's just getting the money. I don't like to take loans for anything. I like to be able to pay for it. So when we have it, it's bought and paid for. So I'm cheap. My wife will be the first one to tell you that.
He's very cheap.
And I want to be able to pay for it. I'm not going to take a note or anything like that.
The
So
only reason that he bought me my game is because it was on a sale.
And because you earned it.
I don't want to sell 1 million of those splitters, John, because if I sell 1 million, Bobby's not going to want to build that many. That's the good thing about working with Allwood is the owner wants to put his hands on every machine that comes through the shop, and he does put his hands on every machine that comes through the shop. They're a small 4-guy crew with, I think, just 2 full-time employees at this point, so every machine gets a lot of attention from those guys, and they pay really close attention to them. So it's definitely one of those things that is nice. They're willing to custom build and do things that need to be done, and it makes a big difference in the product that comes out through the door. My splitter is no exception. It still amazes me.
Because it's 8:30.
All right, you want to say goodnight to everybody, Richard? Richard's going to get ready for school tomorrow, and he's going to go to his favorite place, bed. So can you say goodnight to everyone? No? It's a sad day.
Oh,
No, it's a
man.
sad
You want to say
time
goodbye,
of
Mrs.
day.
Willie?
Goodbye. I'll see you all again.
Let me finish
Soon.
the leopard.
All right, so they're gonna go get ready for the week coming up, and we'll finish what we're doing. Timon, how you doing, buddy?
Well, then I'm keeping these, Mama.
Yeah, Len, staying busy this time of year is really good.
Go brush your teeth.
This is usually a slow time. In between now and spring is usually slower firewood sales. We're right around where we need to be. But I'd like to be busier. But some exciting news that I'll let you guys know before you see it in a video or anything like that is I was at my wife's event, and there's a wood-fired pizza truck that is owned by a company locally here. And I brought them some wood earlier in the fall. And when I got to pick my wife up to pack her stuff up, I saw the wood-fired truck was still running, so I went over and I was inspecting their firewood. And it was ash that we had brought them in the fall. And I got talking to the gentleman, and we're going to continue to supply them through the spring and summer and fall. So we will be their supplier for that wood-fired pizza truck. And he let me in on a little tidbit of information that may land us a very, very large bagged firewood contract. So if that happens, there may be some more full-time employees at Willie's Firewood, or a full-time employee at Willie's Firewood. And I've discussed that with this particular individual already, and he said, yep. So that should tell you who that'll be. Like I said, we're going to stay small, but Heath, I saw you in here somewhere. Appreciate you stopping by, if even for a few minutes. $515 Homestead. Yeah, it was. I hadn't heard from them. They had a couple events cancel, so they never ended up getting the orders that they needed for the wood. We were expecting to deliver another half a cord to them last fall, but a couple events canceled, so they didn't need it. But this time here, we sounds like we're going to get some definite business out of this, and if we can pick up that bagged firewood contract, it's a huge number. I'll let you know how many bags for sure it is if we can get it sorted out. But let's just say it's going to keep Kevin and I very, very busy if we can make it happen. So I'm going to cross my T's and dot my I's. I'm going to give them a price that I need to make what I want for money. But that still leaves them some room to improve on what they have already. I think what they have already is too expensive for what it is, and I think we can do better. 902 hand. Good evening. See you in there. Yeah, Bert's custom cuts. He's got me thinking now. I'm trying to think of what he's planning for that cord challenge, but I know that we can compete and do a little better. Kevin and I too. We've talked about it, and Kevin says, "Yep, he's ready." So we'll see. I know we got to go downhill. We can't leave the splitter the way it sits in the yard. Splitting uphill is not going to work. We got to go downhill for sure. PA Trapper, that's awesome. When you know for sure it's sold, shoot me an email and we can figure out. Do you know what model you're looking at yet, or are you open to options and seeing what we got available? Yeah, I can't wait to see what John ends up doing with that splitter either. I got to go back and finish watching the video and see what's going on. Yeah, he's working on some stuff. He keeps sending me teasers and text messages, so I'm not sure exactly what all he's working on, but he's up to something, so we got to keep our eye on him too. His machine's pretty fast, so gotta definitely keep an eye. Yeah, Rusty Garage and Homestead. I was talking to Bobby about the Petrified series, and he said that he's not sure if he's even going to keep it on the website. That's a beast of a machine, and I don't think many have been made. That's definitely a specialized splitter for sure, but man, oh man, what a monster of a machine. So who's got big plans or orders or happening this week that's going on? I know for us, like I said, we got 5 or 6 cord, and I'm going to try to get that 60 cord or as much of that 60 cord as I can in the yard. So we're gonna be busy here. I've got to get everything cleaned up. I thought we were gonna have snow on Wednesday. That's showing going out to sea now. So we've been splitting through the yard, trying to get the whole middle section of the yard cleaned up, and then we're gonna stuff it just as full of firewood as we can. 515 Homestead. You can't shop on Amazon. It saves your viewed product history. She sees what's going on, so you don't want to do that. Tom, 9 cords out for delivery tomorrow. Dang. There you go. That's a good busy day right there. Lake Ontario Firewood's got a triaxle maple and cherry coming on Wednesday. I love cherry. I don't get a lot of cherry at all, and it's definitely one of my favorite firewoods. I love working with cherry. We don't get a lot of it, and seems like the stuff that we don't get much of, those are usually my favorite woods to work up, just because it's something different. We get so much maple and ash in our firewood that it's crazy. So when I get beech or oak or something different like that, it's definitely a welcome. Yeah, Kevin works on Sunday nights. Kevin's going to be on the chat. So next Saturday morning is going to be our chat with Kevin and Gramp. I don't know if we'll get either of them to talk a whole lot, but Kevin and Gramp are going to be here next Saturday morning, and we're gonna do a chat with them, and we'll see if Gramp will answer questions, and we'll see if Kevin will answer questions, and we'll do what we need to. So that'll be good. That'll be 8 a.m. February 1st. So we're going to try to do it in an hour or so and see what happens, and just see if we can get some knowledge from Gramp and some yips from Kevin, and it should be a good morning. We'll have a cup of coffee, and then hopefully by then we'll have plenty of wood in the yard, and we can go out and make some sawdust and split some firewood. Yeah, Kevin will give all the yips, that's for sure. We had a YouTube customer come to the firewood stand out front today to get some wood, and Kevin was talking to him, and he said yep like 3 times, and after Kevin walked away, the guy said he says it in person too. He said, so it's not just for the video. I said, no. I said, that's a pretty common word and phrase from Kevin for sure. Yeah, Jimbo, Marketplace, that's the stealthy shopping, and just don't save all the listings. Sometimes I save all the listings and then I go back through and I look and I don't even remember. I think I shop in my sleep sometimes, but I'm always scouring Marketplace looking for a deal. Yeah, Derek is showing off with all that ash, Britt. I get a bunch of ash too. I get straight loads of it from time to time when I can, and I always like getting that. That's one of my favorite firewoods to work up just because it dries so fast, so. Well, Britt, you're always jealous with our ash, but I don't even get hardly 4 or 5 species at best. David Shadwick, how close do you live to Phil from Allen Family Firewood? I've got 3 cord going out this week here in Cincinnati. I am about 2 hours from Phil and Karen. I've been down a few times, and we need to go back down again so that I can show them the new green machine. Phil likes fast stuff, so he'll appreciate the muscle wood for sure. So we'll bring that down there for them, and we'll bust up some wood for old Buster and see what we can do. I don't get any hickory. We have no hickory up here, Mike. So the only woods that I typically get, I get maples. We get like 4 or 5 different varieties of maple. I get birch. I got 2 or 3 varieties of birch that'll come. We have red oak, that's it. Cherry, ash, and hornbeam, and a little bit of beech every now and then. So, you know, only 5 or 6 species whatsoever. Yeah. Down East Tree, if I could get free firewood like you guys all get, man, oh man, I'd have so much equipment sitting around this yard. I'd have a firewood emporium. If my wood was free, I would be so excited. Ted, I'll take your hickory. That musclewood doesn't care what it's splitting anymore. I'll take the hickory. Doesn't bother me in the least. I split some of it when we were down to Britt's in North Carolina. Didn't seem to split bad at all. I did find 4 pieces of firewood today that actually kicked the splitter down into the second stage, but it was only for a split second. We did find a piece that it didn't split yesterday, though. Had a knot in it about that big around, and it wasn't having it. If I had tried the 4-way instead of the 6-way, I think it would have definitely split it. Good night, Heath. you're gonna need all the beauty rest you can get if you're gonna try to beat me in that cord challenge. So good night and sleep tight. Yeah, we get a little bit of elm up here, not much. Our elm smells terrible. It's usually mixed in with the loads of ash that we get from the sawmill. When it's froze, it splits great. So if you can freeze it, definitely great. Bill, where are you from? Depending on where you're from, maybe somebody here is around you and they can find you a load of logs, or if you're close to me, I'm sure I can. Yeah, Millers, that's the way I was with elm before I got the new splitter. Elm was always just stringy, nasty, balled up mess, and now the new one, I don't know if it's the extra speed or what the difference is, but elm seems to be no problem. Yeah, Yadkin, my favorite wood sold too. Absolutely my favorite wood for sure. I enjoy every cord of wood that leaves this yard about 3 times more than I do every cord that comes in. Load of firewood poles in my area, Mike, if we buy a triaxle log truck, is going to be anywhere from $1,200 to $1,400, and when we buy it in by the full tractor trailer load, it's anywhere from $1,500 to $1,800. It's quite a bit of money. You know, we're paying anywhere from $150 to $175 a cord, depending on what it is. And I've paid more than that, depending on if I could even find wood at certain times. So, yeah, you just send me a text, Josh, or I can walk you through it. It's not hard. I just got the set screw backed off so that it's not kicking down. Yeah, and you don't have a lot of variety in your wood up there either, do you, Kenny? You guys just have just a few types too. Yeah, maple's the same way here down east. It splits and dries pretty quick. Hard maple dries the slowest, or sugar maple, rock maple, whatever you want to call it. But that definitely dries slower than a soft maple or a red maple. But hard maple is excellent firewood. Very excellent firewood. I just got a triaxle load of cherry with a few maple logs mixed in yesterday. Bring me another load in a few days. Dee's Homestead, that's awesome. If I could get a couple triaxle loads of straight cherry right now, I would be styling. Yadkin, I don't have any trouble drying it in the wintertime. The wood that we're splitting right now, we cut the beginning of November, and it's been down in the back corner of the yard, and I've left it there since the beginning of November. I split it today. I've got some pieces on the rack behind me here drying, and I'm going to take a moisture on them in the morning. But I was surprised at how dry it sounded going through the splitter today, so I'm going to see what the moisture content is on it, and if it's down or started to dry quite well, then I'm going to put that into our restaurant wood, and we'll get that fired through there. 32 per ton is about what I was paying probably 6 or 8 years ago, and it's definitely not that anymore. I wish it was. Glowing Firewood wants to know how much we normally split in a year. We did 623 cord last year, and an extra 50 or so cord for other customers, so 673 or 680, somewhere in that range altogether. But 623 were sold in paying cords that left the yard. Yeah, ash is cash, Derek. That's 100% correct. Yeah, that's the only thing I sell cherry for down east is smoking wood. I don't usually put it in firewood. If I've got some nasty stuff, I'll keep it for myself. Or I'll make smoker chunks out of it or whatever, but we don't get a lot of cherry, so I try to keep it separate and try to get a premium for it if I can. Dee's Homestead, lots of cherry, maple, hickory, and oaks. The only oak I have here is red oak. I think I've seen maybe a handful of white oak in my entire time doing firewood growing up and now. And with the amount of wood that we do, there are very, very few. I saw a couple of chestnut trees that got cut on accident. Don't have many of those up here either. So very, very limited on what we have. Yeah, that's what I heard, Mike. I heard white oak makes great saw logs. The red oak does too if it's straight. And we get a lot of nice red oak up here. Sometimes, depending on who I'm buying from, I get some logs that should have been saw logs mixed in with the firewood because they don't have enough to make a full load or something like that. And, you know, now that I got the sawmill, I try to use them for something more profitable than firewood. And I do the same thing with the cherry. I made some beautiful cherry slabs last fall, so. Yeah, Len, absolutely. You can tell by the sound when that cracks that wood open, especially on the splitter where it's faster now, you can definitely tell if it's dry or not. It's a distinct sound, and anybody that's split enough wood, they know what that sound is. No, Glowing Firewood, we pay for every one of our splitters. Nobody gives us anything. And that's something that I said when we started our channel. We pay for what we got, and, well, dogs are barking at something. And we'll have some of our money invested in everything. I don't want anybody to give me anything because I don't want to feel like I have to say or do things that I don't really want to. So we will have some of our money in everything. The deal with Allwood is we work for a commission, and right now that commission is to build my splitter park. So we are going to sell splitters, and as we sell splitters, we've worked out a rate and an arrangement, and the splitters will come back to the yard here, and they will be yard stock for us to have people come up and demo and try. You can put your hands on them, run them. I'll let you split all my wood for free if you want, and then you find out what you like, and we'll go ahead and get everything sorted out, and you can either get a deal on a demo, or we'll sell you a brand new one and have it shipped to you. So that's kind of the way the splitter deal is working right now. Lake Ontario. Wood Miser is about 20 minutes from you. Well, I have a Valley Green Monster sawmill that's made in Canada. It belonged to my best friend who's passed away. And I got that from his wife. And I haven't sawn a lot with it, but I've sawed a fair amount. And I gotta tell you, sawmilling is one of my favorite things to do, especially for logs with character. Oh yeah, Down East Tree. We talked about those Pro Yama saws for a while. I forgot all about them until you just mentioned that. They were after me for the longest time to do demos on the channel. They wanted me to buy the saw, and if I did a demo on the channel, they'd give it to me after that. But it's one of those things. Only need so many chainsaws, and I'd rather have some really good quality saws kicking around, but I will have a couple of those Chinese saws. I used to have some clone saws that we played around with, and it definitely is nice to have some extra ones around. Lake Ontario, no, I appreciate that. It's definitely hard to lose a friend for sure, and it's even better to have something kicking around that can remind you of them even though they're gone. So it's kind of nice to have that here. And same thing with my tractor that I've yet to bring home that we've got to get home. I bought it 2 years ago. It's still sitting down to his place. I got to get that home. I bought a 504 International gas job with a loader on it. We got to get that back up to the yard here so that we can use it and shuttle some wood around and use it to do what it needs to do. Yeah, there's a lot of saws that don't last for Gramp 902, but I got to tell you, when I was out to Heath and Rachel's at Hardworking Man's, I ran his 501 decked imported Echo, and that little saw is absolutely crazy. I was so impressed with that little thing. That was just really, really nice. I'm searching Marketplace. If I can't find what I want on Marketplace, then I'm going to use Okie Woodsman and Hardworking Man each. Use their codes, and I'm going to go to Saw Supplier, and we're going to get a couple new ones and get them worked up because that was a really nice saw. Nice and light and cut. So nice. Glowing Firewood. Do I do firewood full-time? Yes, I do. Firewood full-time is my business. I went full-time in October. and haven't looked back. Have no intention of looking back. I'm not giving myself a plan B. We're gonna fake it until we make it, but I don't think it's gonna take that long. Everything's kind of fallen in place pretty good, and I'm really pleased with the way everything's working out so far. It's just one of those things that if you continue to put in the work, eventually somebody's gonna notice. So if you're feeling like you're struggling or you're feeling like it's not working, my phrase, a little bit every day goes a long way. It's 100% true. Just go out and do a little bit every single day, because a little bit every day adds up to a lot throughout time. So it makes a definite difference. Night, Bert. Have a good one. Appreciate you stopping by, buddy. Yeah, Briscoe built 4910 would be all right. That's for sure. This one was done by Dino Joe, the one that I ran, and I'm telling you, it was a really smart little saw. You could lay right on it, and you couldn't get that saw to stall in the cut, and it held its RPMs really well. Yeah, we need a shirt about Gramps too. I got a couple ideas. I had one that was made up. Gonna have to do a different one. We got to incorporate his stick in there somehow, especially since Kenny did the nice Graham stick short, and my grandmother liked that so well. We got to make sure that we get a shirt made for Gramp and for Kevin. I don't care if I have anything for me. Mine's just going to be the Willie's Firewood shirt, but I appreciate my help, and any bit of recognition extra that I can get them, that makes me happy, because I couldn't do what I do without them. So yeah, Kenny did nail that short. My grandmother chuckled. She thought that was great. Well, the thing is, Yadkin, when you got to live off firewood, you start looking at it a little different. So I was competing with everybody for bulk firewood, and I started seeing that wasn't gonna work. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to cut my production in half and double my profit, and that's easily doable with bags and restaurants. So I'm headed after that market pretty fast right now, and it's gonna be a lot of work. So Protected Lady just kind of asked the same thing. How do you sell bundles, and how do you sell any bundles, and how do you sell them in a stand or in a store? We have roadside stand right now in front of my home. I have 2 stores that are carrying them currently. We have some campgrounds that want bagged firewood in the spring. And I also have a chain of stores that is interested in carrying our bagged firewood. And if we pick that contract up, I'm not going to be looking for any more bagged firewood to go anywhere, because it's going to be a very large account, and it's going to require a lot of time and effort to keep them stocked and full. Rusty's Garage and Homestead, I have 6 4-foot lengths of hardwood dowel, and Grandpa's going to sign them, and we'll have them eventually. I'm still working through my online store and trying to figure out how to do that without paying somebody to do it for me. It's clunky. I'm working on it. I picked away at it a little bit here and there. So if we can get that set up, we'll have shirts, we'll have sweatshirts, we'll have the Gramp sticks, we'll have channel stickers, we'll have all kinds of stuff on there, fire starters. And we hope to have that up and running soon. When I get some downtime on days that I can't do anything or that it's too cold, I'll pick away on that some more. Hey, good night, Kenny. I appreciate you stopping by. Got to get up early if you want to keep up with Winston, because I got a feeling he's kind of like Gramp and Kevin. He just wants to go, so make sure you get your sleep, buddy. Protected Lady, the one thing that I've noticed when I go to sell, even if a store already carries firewood bundles or bags, or a campground carries firewood bundles or bags, bring them what you've got, show them. If you've got a good product, a good presentation, and you present yourself well, you can definitely move a lot more product that way. A lot of times these stores are using who they have because it's what they've always had, and you'll find places that somebody's not happy with what they have for service. And if that's the case, then you can pick yourself up an account. As long as you use them well and present yourself well, they won't look anywhere else. So Down East Tree says, we get 175 pickup truck here, delivered, thrown in, not stacked, and delivered cord 375. I'd rather sell face cords picked up for 150 each. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. Small quantities of firewood pay more when you figure in the delivery for them. So the small deliveries here, we've been doing 3rd and half cords for quite a while this winter, and it's definitely a good way to make some extra money, especially if you're delivering it, because you're charging them the delivery every time too. So that kind of goes hand in hand that way. Small amounts is definitely what needs to be done. Yeah, Karen is a master bagger for sure, Jimbo. Karen's a master bagger and a master stacker too. So she does a lot of handling of firewood over there at Phil and Karen's, that's for sure. Yeah, Protected Lady, this is, I'm not sure whereabouts you're located, but for us, if you were selling 33 bundles in a last couple of weeks, that's pretty good. Not many people are buying bundles or bags where we are because it's winter time. A lot of that tends to be summertime camping and recreational wood. So it's definitely one of those things that depends on the season. Good night, Chuck. We'll see you on the next one for sure. I appreciate it. Yep, Rick's a face cord. Usually what people only buy 1 or 2 at a time. Yeah, I'm finding more and more people say they don't have room to store wood or they don't want to store large amounts of wood, Mike. So that's why we're getting the smaller quantities, I think. I still have customers that their primary heat's wood and they buy anywhere from 4 to 8 cords of firewood to heat their house for the year. But I'm getting fewer of those customers and I'm getting a lot more customers that want a half a cord at a time or something like that. Yeah, so Protected Lady, you're probably in the same boat that I am. It's definitely one of those things where it's just seasonal. So as spring comes, you'll probably pick up and have a lot more luck selling those. Hey, good night, Jason. We'll see you later. Just shoot me a message if you figure out what you want for shirts or whatever, and we'll get you taken care of. I'll get some sent down to you. So David wants to know, how long have I been doing firewood? My whole life. But I've been selling firewood for, let's see, 2016, for about 10 years for profit, maybe a little longer than that, and had the LLC since 2016, so almost 10 years there. So we've been doing firewood for quite a while. We've been small and we've been big, and now we're back to mid-size right now. So it's definitely been a roller coaster. I got a little too big too quick. We got into a processor and needed a giant supply of wood, and the suppliers that we had fell off and didn't work out, and I was staring at big payments sitting in the yard. Gramp wasn't around anymore. We got rid of the processor, went back to doing it by hand. Gramp came back, and it fits better. Until we can really get a yard that's big enough that I can put 400 or 500 or 600 cord ahead and know that I've got enough to get what we need to for the processor to be able to stay fed, we're going to continue doing what we're doing. My buddy just gave you a follow. Saw you on Hardworking Man in that cord challenge. Just a few rugged made, but that all wood seems like a beast. That all wood is nasty. It's just, I still, when I'm splitting wood out in the yard, it looks so fast on camera. It's not as fast in person, but it's just, nothing slows it down. Very, very rarely does it kick into the second stage, and if it does, it's just for a split second, and then it's hammer down and go ahead again. So it's definitely a welcomed addition to the wood yard. It's sped us up a lot. It's certainly taken a lot of weight off our shoulders to know that we can certainly go and get everything done. March 22nd, Boonville, North Carolina. Yeah, that's Britt's job, so that's the fellowship. We'll get all that done and get that taken care of. I'm hoping I can get down there, but it's going to depend on weather. So we got March 22nd down there, and then after March 22nd, 2 weeks later, we are in Ohio. No, we're in Indiana for the Hoosier Firewood Hysteria. So I've got to make sure that I make it down there. All of the splitter manufacturers are going to be down there, and we're going to make sure that we can represent Allwood for that event. And then after that, the next big show is going to be the International Firewood Expo in Ohio. So we've got some busy stretches coming up, and I still got to try to run a firewood business in between as well. So it's definitely going to be an interesting spring and summer, but we're going to try to hit as many places as we can and get as much as we can done. Firewood Millionaire, good evening. Nice of you to stop in. I haven't watched your last video. I saw the thumbnail about seeing your face, but I haven't had time to stop and watch yet. But I will definitely take a peek by and see what's going on there. I don't know if it was clickbait or not, but you got my attention anyway. Absolutely, Robert. I will let him know. I'm going to try to bring him with me for a bunch of the trips. Kevin likes to travel, and Kevin doesn't get to travel a lot, so I'm going to try to bring him with me for a bunch of them. And I'm hoping that as spring comes along, the racks will slow down a little bit, and we can kind of keep everything going. So, Matt, how you doing, buddy? Stopping by from Lily's farm. It looks like you guys got a little snow down there from your videos. Carl Lewis, have a good night. Appreciate you stopping by, buddy. So, are you all done selling firewood for the year in bulk now, Matt? Are you just doing your firewood stand now? I saw one of your videos said you were delivering the last cord of oak. Neighborly Homestead, I didn't know you were in here. I may have knew that you were in here and said hello earlier, but just kind of saw you pop up. Good to see you. It's getting close to syrup season, but the weather's awful cold for it right now. Oh, okay. All right. I didn't remember seeing you. I try to pay attention. Yeah, Lily's Farm and Firewood, that seems to be the running theme for everybody up by me. I'm getting more and more calls from further and further away from people that are running out of wood. I've got a delivery tomorrow, actually, that we're going like an hour and a half away. They're paying a real good amount for the delivery, but they were recommended to us from another firewood company, and they said that if they recommended us, that's where they want to get their wood. So I guess we're going to go for a ride. So for any of you guys that are interested in the Birch Series wood splitters from Allwood, the white and the green and black are both available at no charge. So the green and black is the Allwood kind of company color that we're going to be using. So if you're not sold on the white, you can get the birch and green and black at no charge as well. Temperature been so temperature for us the last few weeks has been quite a bit colder, but never, I wouldn't say it's unseasonable. Little's Lawn Care and Firewood, do you get any other types of wood other than ash and oaks? I think that's for Matt. I know I see Matt with ash and oak all the time. I don't see much different than that either. Yeah, Lake Ontario, you let me know. We can make it work. Glowing firewood, how long does it take me to get through one of those big truckloads of firewood? So if it comes in on a tri-axle, a self-contained truck, we can cut and split that in about a day and a half. So a day and a half, it's in and out of the yard during our busy time. If it's a tractor trailer load, a full 12 cord load, it's usually 2 days. And we work everything through and try to get it done as quick as we can. When we start hitting spring rush, we try to do anywhere from 15 to 25 cord a week. And the way that we're doing firewood, that's a lot of work, but we get in a rhythm and we just get going. Hoping that we can do something different this year and get back to a 2-cord truck with a divider and get everything done. Oh, there you go, Rusty. Mike, he can build it for you. They can make you a military themed design. Look at that. Glowing firewood. We sell all of our firewood green. We don't season our firewood. Everything leaves our yard green. It's sold and advertised as green, and that's what we do. Very rarely do I have any dry or seasoned wood in the yard. We typically, as a rule, we'll have 3 or 4 loads that come through that can be considered seasoned or dry, but that's it. So out of 600 plus cord, we may have 30 or 40 cord worth of good dry wood. We always have ash. Ash dries faster, and we can use that in lieu of seasoned wood in the winter when people are running low. But that's definitely a help to a small yard, is being able to sell it green. Lots of people say they can't sell it green. I don't sell it any other way than green. That's how it's advertised. So yeah, little lawn care, ash is cash. I mean, stump to stove. That's what my grandfather always used to say. Cut it today, burn it tonight. Hey, John. Evening out there in Minnesota. Mike, I bet the only way to really truly appreciate it would be to put an order in and have it delivered, and then you could look at it and admire it all the time. Yeah, Matt, you'd have to have a lot of spray paint to paint 600 and some cord, that's for sure. Protected Lady, we've been selling a lot of ash too. I've had a real heavy mix of ash and what we've had, and I've been separating it out and getting that set off to the side, and we keep it separate for sure because I get a little bit more. Camp's Corner, we have ash borer 100 or so miles from where we are, but nothing in our area yet. But it's only a matter of time. I mean, it's gonna move through just like it has everywhere else, and when that happens, the ash will be gone. So until then, we'll enjoy it while we have it, but it won't be around here for forever, that's for sure. Yeah, Mike needs a new splitter 902. I think that would definitely be good for some content on the channel too. Ken, I don't know if Bobby has any pictures of the military themed splitters or not. Oh, right there. He says he's got it on CAD. He can email you some pictures if you want. So if you drop your email down below, Bobby can get you some pictures of it. Yeah, you want to pay off Tiny to get a splitter. I want to save up money to get a Tiny, so I understand. I've got the old International that we got to bring home, but I'd love to have a newer tractor for sure. But I'm gonna keep pushing for more splitters in the yard first before we worry about tractors and stuff like that. The old International will earn its keep when we get it home. It'll be close enough. Yeah, the ash borer seems to be everywhere. It's not just select spots. It seems to be really tearing through, and it's too bad because I like ash. We've got the ash borer that comes through. We have a pine weevil up here that's really hard on our white pine. So sometimes you'll see big clumps of white pine and they never get straight. They're all just nasty and all bunch of crotches and just ugly trees. It's the pine weevil. It eats the top, and then it makes a fork, and everywhere that they get a new top, they eat again. It makes another fork, and it just makes a nasty tree that's no good for anything. Well, Yadkin Valley, I think you might be right with one exception, because if I don't do a tractor, I would like to have about 1 yard to 1.5 yard articulated loader, like a Cat 906 or a Cat 908. My buddy Dave has one. He dropped it off in my yard one day, and I did more with that machine in 5 minutes than I could have done with a tractor in 2 hours. It's so quick, it's so fast, so powerful, so smooth. I was sold. I didn't want to give it back. It was only here for a weekend because he was coming over for a big bonfire and stuff, but Man, that articulated loader is absolutely crazy. $9.02. Sounds like Dad knew what he was doing. That's awesome. Hey, what are you doing with the zoo over there?
I'm not doing anything.
Sounds like the zoo behind us there. Dogs are having their nightly case of the zoomies. They're trying to eat each other. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video. We'll show you our mishaps and woes from today. We'll show you running the all-wood straight ahead for a little bit, and we'll show you why uphill doesn't work, and you'll see that in the video as well. We'll post it tomorrow morning and get it set out, but we're gonna get ready for that cord challenge. That cord challenge is gonna get done, and we're gonna definitely be ready for it. So good night, Lake Ontario. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for stopping by. Appreciate you. So I'm gonna cut it right about now, and stay tuned for this week's videos. We'll have videos every day other than the days that we do our live streams, and we'll keep plugging away. We'll show you the new wood we got coming in. We'll go see Johnny up at his forestry operation and see all the big equipment up there. But we'll see you guys on Wednesday night, and hope you guys have a good start to your week, and we'll see you on Hump Day.